Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? It is Friday, March the 4th. I have I have been through all kinds of issues. I just want you to know that if you get irritated by the background kind of being fuzzy and then not fuzzy, it's because I changed the autofocus to set some things up, and I can't shoot in 4K anymore, and I'm down in HD on my Sony A6400. Um, we have had a catastrophe um, as far as live streaming. Um, I'm hopeful that I've got everything in order today, but let's just go over it since you're here. Um, I've always wanted to bring the most clear and wonderful picture to you. I don't know why. I feel like I have this really good camera. My computer's not that great, but I just feel like you deserve it. You deserve a good picture. If you're going to watch me, you deserve a good picture. And so, I'm sitting here and I saw a video on YouTube, and they're like, "Here, do this, and it'll be a great shot for your peeps." And so, hey, I'm all in. Yesterday, you knew I had it. I didn't. I wanted to do it before the live stream yesterday. I said, no, I better not do it. I didn't. I didn't have time to do it between the podcast and the between the live stream and the podcast. I just didn't have time. And then this morning I had some time, and I was like, you know what? Today's the day. We're going to do it. So as soon as I set the functions, everything died. Like I had no feed from the camera to my computer, which kind of freaks you out because you kind of want to do a live stream and you need to be there. Like people need to see you. So I did that, and now as I'm looking at myself, there's things I like about this. It's definitely a lot clearer on my face. What I don't like when I'm watching my own videos is I don't like when the background gets fuzzy. Like I know the things back there and I know what they look like in real life, and I just don't like it. But right now, I don't know. I don't know that it's going to come through to you on the recording. I don't know if it's going to come through you on the live stream, but it's pretty darn sharp. I mean, my face looks pretty darn sharp. Now, um, we're going to leave it like this for a while. I can't just. I mean, I can't spend hours messing with the camera. As much as some people are like technophobes, they really want to work on stuff all the time. I don't. I just like to set it and forget it. The Sony camera for me has way too many features, and it's like this is the best I can do right now. This is the best I'm going to do, and I quit. Now I don't know if the camera's going to get hot. I know I've seen other YouTubers, their camera gets hot and just shuts off. I don't know what's going to happen with mine. I'm not trying to shoot like really um, graphics intense stuff. And when your camera goes out, like it did, I've lost all my settings. I don't know if like when we go through the transitions of stuff, I don't know how it's going to go. And because my camera blew up, I haven't gotten we don't have Google Trends up today. I have no idea what's trending in Google search. So we might not, it might look, it might not be as smooth as I'd hoped. Okay. But at the end of the day, that's where I'm at. Is I'm sorry, it may not be as smooth as I hoped. Now, some other housekeeping stuff. I'm getting people watching videos from Twitter. There's like high engagement from Twitter. I don't understand it. I don't believe it, but that's what my stats are telling me. So thank you to those of you who watch on Twitter or who see my videos from Twitter. I'm doing the best I can. Look, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, and I hate not doing awesome. I can't tell you how much this is humbling for me, hard on me at times because it's not like I'm used to success. That's not true. It's that you put something out there and you work on it and you get it better and you get it better and you get it better. But I'm never going to look like, like this. Let's just say the demographic on YouTube is like 20 to 30-year-old men. I'm never going to look like a 24-year-old or 25-year-old college girl. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like I'm not perfectly in the YouTube demographic. So I'm not going to get views just based on my looks. No, I'm not too offended by it, but I mean, that's, you know, and then maybe you say that's a sexist thing to say. Well, I don't look, I'm not interested in what you think about this topic. I know what's going on. I see it. I see, I see how this works. So, look, I'm just not interested. So, the other thing today I wanted to just briefly touch on is I don't know what is on YouTube, like word wise, that's going to get me in trouble. I don't know if the stuff on Google search, on their own search, is going to get me in trouble and banned from what I say on the live stream. I don't know if the word banned gets me banned on the live stream. So I have no idea what's going on. We know there's, you know, a war, and maybe that's the wrong word. But I'm just this is a very difficult platform to master, and you can tell that I've not done it yet. I'm going to keep going though. I can't believe that I'm going to be this terrible at it forever. And if I am, I think it's just a testament to what's the word I'm looking for? Stick to itiveness, gumption, never quit mentality. We just keep going and keep trying. Now, let's do this. I've got a good flow. It's 6 minutes in. You can come along with me, and I'm going to work on the Google News stuff, because not only do I have to get it up on the screen, I also have to get it in the in my notes, because I like to cite sources. And so let me go over there right now and see if there's anything that I think is interesting. Just while we're going along, when a politician says something stupid, okay, like really stupid, not necessarily offensive. I'm not going to do this here this way. I'm going to go over here, and hopefully this will work. It's about real estate, and you know I love real estate. I didn't know it was about real estate at the time, but and I'm just setting stuff up for you. Don't freak out. I think good streamers can do this kind of stuff faster than I can, but I'm sorry, I'm not there yet. I'm not peak YouTube streamer. I don't know how streamers stream for like 4 and 5 hours straight on it. Like Ricada just is amazing. I run out of things to say. I just I just run out of things to say. It's not that I've kind of lost my being nervous. Now I don't know what this is going to be about. This is why you don't do this. You know, this is why I mean, I haven't read the article, and God only knows what it's going to be about, and I don't want to, you know, I don't like, you know what, I don't like to talk about certain things. Sorry, I wasn't near the microphone there. I was testing. The one thing I did do before the live stream was I tested the microphone, but I was kind of nervous. And why should I be nervous? But all right. Well, we're gonna just do this, and you know what? If it doesn't work out, I'm sorry. But I got I got to do it this way. Got all kinds of things to talk about. I'm almost done. I'm sorry that I'm not trying to kill time, but I am trying to get something done so that you guys have something to talk about. Okay. All right. Okay. We back? What's up? Okay. So let's talk about stupidity on my part. That seems like the best thing to do is. So I wanted, like I said, I want you guys to have the best picture possible. And so when I did this morning when I arranged everything and I got a black screen, I kind of freaked out. But I had stuff to do, right? So I started doing other things and I was like, maybe it'll get better. So then I went back and looked and it was like, no, this isn't very good. This isn't very good at all. It's still not working. And I was racking my brain trying to figure out, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? Because I'm going to go live at 9 a.m. Central Time. And boy, I can't tell you how frustrated I was. And so I had to keep looking things up. I had to keep putting the stuff together. And so when I did test the microphone, it was lower. So if I'm real low today, I don't know. I'll go back and fix it later on. I'll listen to the stream. But I might have been mumbling when I was testing it too. As I'm looking at the microphone, I can see when it goes to the highest setting. And I like to stay in the yellow. Right now, I'm just playing with my voice so that I can get it in the red. Watch red. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not scatterbrained, but boy, that when you're going to live stream and all of a sudden you don't have a camera. I mean, I guess I should get a secondary camera just in case, but like I turn on, I start getting ready around 8:30 for like the show, like the lights and everything. Thinking about changing my lighting too. It's like right now I don't like the way, I like the way some things look right now, and then others I like. I don't know. My camera's too good for me, and I need a different camera. But anyway, so if I did get a camera, okay, set up 30 minutes before, say something goes wrong with my camera, then I can, okay, great, I can switch to the other camera. Well, I lose all my settings. Okay, so now I have 30 minutes to start the camera, plug everything in, and try to not have a massive failure. So a second camera to me doesn't seem like it makes any sense. The only thing where I do think it would make sense is if I go out, like if my camera goes out, like what do I do? That's the other thing. No, I'm not. I'm curious to what you think is, I could get a different lens for the camera. And that wouldn't be, I mean, just for webcam, that'd be pretty over the top, wouldn't it? I don't know. So let's just talk about this since we're here. On my camera stuff, like say I actually make some money somehow. Say that actually happens and I want to reinvest it in the stream. How would I best do that? I don't think you should. I've watched live streams, okay? There's a certain amount of in stream stuff you can do. Like I could have a producer or something. But I don't think when I start, I'm going to be able to have a producer. I mean, I think it's going to be me this way for a while. So that doesn't seem like a good idea. Just save the money. I don't know. All this stuff, if you have ideas, you go ahead and put them in the section below because honestly, I want to be better. But then even saying that, when I say I want to be better, when I say like, hey, I think we can do a better job. Does that make you feel bad for watching? And you're like, well, this isn't the finished product. I don't. But my thought was on that is, hey, watch me grow, right? I mean, I've literally got no viewers right now, and I do this daily. I've done it since probably not since July. I didn't live stream at the beginning. I didn't think it was something that I could do. But as I watched other live streams, I got so excited about it. What's going on with the other live stream is I'm so far behind with everything that I haven't even been able to start the channel. And even if I start the channel, I got to put together work. I got to put together stuff. And I have not gotten that far yet. I'm sorry. I'm just, I don't know how to say it. Like, just when I moved the live stream off of the Deerwood Realty main channel, which may have been a terrible mistake, we'll never know. When I moved it off of the channel, no one came over to my new live stream channel. Not one person. Okay. So that's not good. But we don't know that those people would have watched my stuff anyway. And I say those people, look, if you've subscribed to the live stream, or if you've subscribed to the Deerwood Realty channel and you're watching my live stream now, thank you. And I don't mean what I'm saying is my subscriber count did not go up once I started my stream. Does that make sense? Like, I have 57 subscribers on my main channel, and I have 4 subscribers on this channel. I know who the 4 people are. So that didn't go very well. It seems like I'm starting over again, and I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to do it again. But when I did that, my streaming software really didn't go very well. I'm paying for streaming through Streamlabs, but they only let you do one channel. And so when I switched over to this one, I had to build all my scenes again, and it's not great because they're not the same as they were on the other one that I'm used to, and they're named differently. And then if I want to stream on my Deerwood Realty live stream channel like now, okay, and then I want to put a new stream together, I have to change back and forth, or else I'll be streaming to the wrong channel, which would be terrible. I don't know, internets. You help me out. A couple other things. One, I feel like I'm a man of the people. I feel that way. I was watching Bill Burr on like some podcast or something, and he was the guy was asking about his family. He's like, I'm not telling you about my family. There's the weird people out there on the internet, and yeah, there's weird people on the internet. I agree. And if I didn't have a real estate business out of my house, I mean, then I guess I would be more concerned. But I mean, this is my house, this is my business, and this is what I do. If someone's going to come at me, it's not good. I'm scared. But it's not like I'm going to be able to live stream at 10 p.m. at like my office. Like, go buy an office just so that I can live stream in it. That doesn't make any sense. So I guess, there's good on the internet and there's bad. So look, I'm just hoping that everyone that's out there that's on my team treats me fair. Terrible transition. It's 18 minutes in, but let's talk about, we had a car debacle. I told you it was coming. I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was. So let's just go and recap. My wife's car, when you turn it on, it smokes. And we used to call it this, well, we still do, we call it the smoke show. And just last week, I put in new headlights for it, and they're beautiful. I didn't think the car was as bad. I thought it needed some valve stems, or the valves. I thought that the seals were messed up. And so I was excited, like, we'll get it fixed. Everything's going to be okay. And in this thing, it's fascinating. I actually didn't believe that at all. I also believed like the car was totaled and that we were in deep trouble. And so I would tell my wife, like, hey, it's a mess. The car's just a basket case, and we need to do something. And she thinks differently than I do, and she's smarter than I am. And so she said, hey, like, you just think that this is something wrong. Why don't we find out for sure if there is something wrong? And it's like, well, honestly, I was embarrassed to take it to the shop. It was so bad. Like, I didn't want them to laugh at me in my smoky car. So that made sense, though. why not? When we do real estate, we say we're going to take unknowns and make them knowns. Okay. So like when you're listing a house for sale, there could be different issues that you're not sure of how it's going to go. One, you're not ever 100% sure on the price. But if you have a similar house to a house that just sold down the street like a week ago, you pretty much know that your house could probably bring that if it was close to the other house. That's where most sellers make the biggest error is they assume their house is as great as the house that just sold down the street, and it's not even close. That's where they make the most errors. But that would, so how do you make an unknown an unknown? Well, in that case, when you market the property for sale, if no one's showing up, you know that you missed on the price. It's a known. It becomes known. It's true that way with buying too. Whether or not a buyer meets with me first or meets with a mortgage lender first, it changes on what is known. So a buyer may hear that the market is really strong, but they don't know because they're not out in it. Okay. But when they talk to me and I say, yeah, it's really strong for the, strongly biased for the seller, we're going to have to be real careful. They can believe that. Also, when a buyer comes to me without a pre-approval, we can always go and talk to a mortgage broker or a lender of any kind and find out like, hey, what can we do? So, how do I put it? So we take unknowns into knowns. Well, why wouldn't that be obvious with the car? Why wouldn't that have been obvious? Why wouldn't we take the unknown? Hey, I think the car is totally trash. Now, I love to watch automotive YouTube. And you should know also that I'm always wrong. I've watched thousands of hours of YouTube auto, and I'm still terrible. In fact, here's what I told my wife that's wrong with the car. The engine needs to have the seals for the valves replaced, and the transmission's going out. That's what I said. And so, anyway, I took the car into the shop the day before it was due, so Wednesday, because it only smokes on startup, which is symptomatic of, to me, leaky valves. Take the car in. Guy says, hey, I think it's going to be more expensive than it's worth. I said, well, that's okay. Just go do it. And I paid him good money. I said, look, it's okay. We might as well just find out. So they go through it. He calls me yesterday morning after the live stream, and I was starting to get a sinus headache. And anyway, he called and he said, hey, this is a disaster. You need a new engine. Your head gasket is leaking into the cylinders, and that's what's causing the smoking. And then what's also happening is it's gunking up the oil. So there's all this sludge in the engine, and it's just nasty. He's like, you need to replace the engine. There's two options. You can go used, or you can go like remanufactured. I said, okay. And then there were some other things. So like the horn doesn't work. Now this, like my wife is a saint. Okay. I can't stand anything wrong with her car. It just drives me insane. She puts up with it. I don't know why. I guess because she's just a saint. So the horn doesn't work. Well, just to get the horn tested, $159 because the airbag light was also on. So then we go through that. That's going to be $1,500. And then, unbeknownst to me, we had suspension problems. Now, like when I talked to my wife and I drove the car, I was concentrating on the transmission issue and the engine. And I was just driving it because I was listening for that sound that I thought was the transmission going out. And it wasn't that at all. But anyway, the wheel was clocked to the right, and we needed a new wheel bearing. Now we'd gotten ours replaced, so I didn't know what was going on with that. Well, it turns out it was all trashed because my wife had hit a pothole, we think now. But I was happy with the shop for finding a problem that I didn't know existed. Whereas I think a lot of people would take the opportunity to just throw rocks at the shop for finding stuff that's wrong. They're like, I didn't bring the car in for you to find something wrong with the steering wheel. I brought it in for you to find something wrong with the engine because I said that's what I want. But I didn't. I don't take it that way. So then all the shocks and struts need to be replaced. And New engine. So the bill is like minimum like $8,000 just for the engine. And then, by the way, the transmission isn't dead. Good news. Yay. We can really be happy now. Turns out it's an exhaust leak, like at the headers. So that all has to be redone. But anyway, we were at, I mean, I think the car, if it was running good and looked nice, was between $4,000 and $6,000 value. I can't see spending at least 10 and possibly 13 for to fix the car. Now, this for me, this is perfect because it's terrible timing. It's terrible timing. One, the spring season is when I do most of my business. Like, it's picked up dramatically. So what I do, I make a bunch of money, what I call a bunch of money, in the spring and summer, and then I have to just hold on to it until the next spring and summer, because during the winter it's terrible. All these bills come at you, taxes, everything comes at you, and you're not making any money. Christmas, it's just terrible. And so that's not good. And then, have you guys looked at the car market, the used car market, or the new car market? The chip manufacturer snafu has infected the car market. Plus, now we're in this situation where we have high gas prices. So all the guys that had nice pickup trucks and everything, now they're like, oh my God, I need to drive a Prius or a Tesla. So now everybody's ditching their SUVs, causing even more of a mess. And, I don't know what to do. Well, I know what to do. My wife can't drive that car. It's a disaster. She's going to get injured. So I'm not going to do that. But finding another car has been problematic. But I wanted to tell you that, you guys were curious about how my car situation was going, and now you know. Bad. Very bad. So we're going to go pick up the car today. I'm going to pay my money and be sad about it. My wife has got gasoline, and she bought a whole tank, so she wants to burn out the gas, which is fine. And then we'll just park it. So that's that. And, I don't have time to go looking for a new car or used car or any car. I don't. So that's a mess. The chip situation's a mess. I'd like to do some better things with my computer to make editing easier. Now I'm not like, look, I like everything we've done. And especially one of the times we had a discussion, maybe last week, was, hey, maybe you should drop the 4K just to save time. High definition is good enough. If someone wants to watch your stuff in 4K down the road, that's fine. But right now, I mean, you're deal with what you can, and you don't have time to be rendering videos in a 4K anymore. I say, because it became obvious. The reason why people don't watch my videos is not because it's not in 4K, right? And I produce so much content for the most part that it's just taking too much time. So it has worked better. I think I rendered a video yesterday in 1080p in 20 minutes. That normally took an hour. So I cut 40 minutes off of it. Now I'm going to be doing my clips and stuff. Those should take a lot less time too. And the live streams, they're automatically uploaded. So the only time I would ever have to render a live stream is if something happened on YouTube, which is possible. So that's that. Now let's get into showings. I mean, we're 30 minutes in. I'm not trying to, I hope I'm presenting stories that are worth listening to, but now 30 minutes in, I had a showing last night. Let's talk about it. South City, close to River to Pear. We had and I want to remind me about the website. In fact, I'm going to write it down. We might not get to all that we need to get to today, and just deal with it. Right? Just take it as it comes. I mean, you're not here all the time for the content or for the what a mess. My email's a mess. Okay. You're here to learn about what happens to a real estate broker in South County, St. Louis, Missouri. So we go and look at this house, the wonderful young buyers. I say young because I'm feeling old these days. They're going to buy their first house, and we look at a house that looks great in the photos. The disclosure was pretty good. The period of home ownership I was concerned with was the time of home ownership was about 3 years. And I knew it was a fix and flip at one point in time. But I'm always good to buy a fix and flip on the second time through. Like the first person that buys it, let them deal with all the problems that the contractor never fixed in the first place. And then buy. That's the way to do it. But anyway, the disclosure was perfectly clean. We go to this house, okay? And they say that the garage is being sold as is. So I couldn't even get into the garage, the door, but we looked and it was like, eh. But it had a nice sized kitchen. Okay, everybody likes a nice sized kitchen. We go in the back, and I always get concerned. I don't know about where you live, okay? And I don't want to overgeneralize, but when you have a hill and it's like coming towards the house, I always get concerned with the foundation because it feels like that over time will just push in. And also I feel concerned when I see cinder block basements. I don't know why one would do a cinder block basement, but I don't like it. I never have. But anyway, what difference does it make, right? I'm not living in the house. But I told him at the time, I said, it looks like this could be a problem, having not even been in the basement, but it looks like this could be a problem. We need to check this out with respect to the water in the basement. So we go downstairs, and there are 6 bands of Kevlar wrap trying to hold this wall that is buckling. It's not disclosed. Now you say, no, that's not very nice. That should be disclosed. Well, what I suspect happened is that the lady that bought the house, and I say lady because that's what it says on the seller's disclosure. If it's a man, I apologize. Please, don't think I'm being sexist in this spot. The lady that bought the house bought it from a flipper. Okay. The flipper said, I don't know anything about it. He fixed it with the Kevlar, and then they were like, eh. And so in the 2 years or 3 years she's owned it, nothing's happened. Nothing's happened to the wall yet that she can tell, so she didn't disclose it. Now, this is where, you're going to get mad at real estate agents. One, if you're on the seller side, you're like, I don't want to disclose something that I don't know anything about, which is the right move. Always. If you know something, though, then you should disclose it. Now, on the buyer side, somebody's going to buy that house. And 10 years from now or 5 years from now, if they're still living there, they're going to be redoing the back wall. Now, you say, John, how do you know that? Well, I don't know it for sure. I have a pretty good suspicion. And then that's the issue is with that particular repair, there should be like a lifetime transferable warranty. There's not. The disclosure has no information whatsoever of the issue. So you got nothing. You got to start all over. And my question to you, and I think it's fair, is why should my buyers buy a house with a wall that they can visibly see is buckling for any price? And there's no discount on this house. Don't kid yourself. This was an expensive house for the neighborhood. So and it had a ring. And it had a Amazon thing. It had a Alexa. So they were listening to us the whole time. And I don't mind. I hope it was good. I hope it was good for them. But the sellers, that is. Anyway, that was the showing. It was shock, disappointment, and dismay that there was a basement issue that wasn't disclosed, but it didn't have to be disclosed because the person could literally claim ignorance and it would be fine. That's the other thing about a disclosure. Like somebody will fix this house up. Okay. Let's say there's a house that's destroyed. The basement's a mess. The rooms are a mess. The HVAC is a mess. Okay. They come in and they fix it up. They fix everything. They write on the disclosure they've never lived in the property. To me, that's a dodge. It doesn't matter that you've never lived in the property. You know exactly what's wrong with the house on those issues which you fixed. And to me, that means you should disclose those things. Why? If you fixed it, are you really saying you don't have any knowledge of it? You fixed it. You had to have knowledge of it. Does this make me a bad person? I mean, we talk about how the world works versus how the world is, or how the world works versus how you'd like it to be. This is one of those cases where the world is not working like I'd like it to be. I'd like everyone to kind of, I don't like this hot market like it is for the buyers or the sellers. I don't like when it's a bad market and the sellers take advantage, or when it's a buyer's market. I don't like when buyers try to take advantage of sellers. I don't like when sellers try to take advantage of buyers. I don't like it. I have to play the depending on how I am, I have to play that particular role. If I'm selling a house in this market, I'm not apt to give a lot of concessions on the seller side. And if I'm a buyer, I'm not asking for a whole lot. When we switch the roles, now all of a sudden as a buyer, I'm asking for the moon, and the seller is playing defense, saying, well, my gosh, what do you want, my firstborn? So you can see where it just changes depending on what part of the real estate, cycle or market we're in. Anyway, they're not going to put an offer on that house. I've got 2 showings tonight. I have like 8 showings tomorrow, and then I have 1 showing on Sunday. We're not going to the Springs this weekend. We're not going to any Springs. We're not going to any mills. But I found the mill list, which I had been missing. It had been lost, and I didn't know where it was. I was very upset with myself because I have this list of I have a list of mills. I don't know if you've ever been to a mill, but it's fascinating. Fascinating. I'd pull it up for you, but I don't have time. And I think I shot it the up and down way. So I'm 30 minutes in. What do you think about the focus? Is it going well? Can we test it? I'm going to try and test the focus because we got time. So here we go. Doesn't look like it's doing anything to me. I mean, if you put your hands up, does it it looks pretty normal. Sorry, it's backwards on the camera, so if I do my hand like this. I mean, whatever you guys think. I tried for you. Let's get into these Google articles. Now, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm warning you now. Oh, I did want to I screwed up. This is bad radio. I not only have I got car issues, not only do I have tech issues, I have web issues. My website has not updated since the 28th of February. And at first I actually didn't notice it so much. I send out listings through my website for marketing. And at first I was like, it seems weird. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of listings coming to the market. We're kind of starting to get into the warm selling season. And then I go and then my pictures aren't loading right. And then I start seeing the same picture of the same house. And I'm like, this isn't good. So I emailed my guy, and I was like, hey, not good. It's like, oh no, that's not good. We should have it done by the end of the day. Well, it's not done. I checked it this morning. We're still not done. And so now I'm stuck in a situation. Well, I have been since Wednesday. I have this really nice Instagram page. It's called St. Louis Area Home Showcase. And it showcases just homes in St. Louis that I like. And they're listed, for sale. I'd go show them if you called me or something like that. But that's what I do. And now I can't post to that site. And so it's not growing, and there's nothing going on. on my Instagram page. Twitter I've got, not growing. Facebook not growing because I can't produce listings. It's broken. So yesterday, I get done with the live stream. I have a headache. I go to post the stuff on Instagram. That's a mistake because that's not going well. I get a call about the car. I was a mess yesterday. Mess. Just depressed. I wake up every day is like a new day for me. So here we go. We're going to go at it. Now, let's get into these articles. One, it's called, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. Let me bring you over here. Now, I don't know how it's going to go. Remember, this is new to me today. Okay, it says, Sherri Papini made up story of 2016 abduction in California, officials say. Papini's disappearance and her story about being held at gunpoint and being branded sparked widespread media attention. Okay, so number one, I don't remember this story at all. Number two, it was in 2016. They're just figuring it out now, 2020. So let's just go in the story and figure out what happened. Okay, Sherri Papini, the California mother who disappeared for weeks in 2016 and claimed she'd been kidnapped at gunpoint, made up the story and had been staying with an ex-boyfriend. Papini, now 39. So first off, unless there's some sort of reason that comes to the forefront, this is not a good human. Okay. Papini, now 39, was arrested for allegedly lying to investigators in 2020 when presented with evidence the kidnapping was faked and of defrauding California out of more than $30,000 in the victim assistance money, law enforcement officials announced. There you go. Now she's a terrible person. Papini's disappearance in Northern California in November 2016 set off a nationwide search that involved the FBI. And how much did the taxpayers have to pay for that? 3 weeks later, she was found along Interstate 5 in rural Yolo County with a chain around her waist and a brand on her shoulder she said was inflicted by her captors, according to court documents. Ultimately, the investigation revealed there was no kidnapping. Countless hours were spent not only on the search for her, but the purported abductors. This is a terrible woman. Papini faces charges of making false statements to law enforcement, engaging in mail fraud. Sorry. Papini was in custody Thursday. Her case did not appear in online federal court records, and it's not clear if she had an attorney who could speak on her behalf. And then it does it again. It says the same story. It says she was reported missing on November 2nd after she failed to pick up her 2 children at daycare. She had last been seen jogging in her neighborhood, and her cell phone with earbuds were found at an intersection. On November 24th, she was found along I-5 with injuries that authorities now say were self-inflicted. Well, this is even more fascinating. She told investigators that 2 Hispanic women with a handgun kept her captive, and investigators looked for those people, enlisted an FBI sketch artist. An FBI agent wrote in an affidavit filed the criminal case. Now, this is, to me, racist. Why is it that she chose, in her fake story, 2 Hispanic women? Is that because it's somehow believable? I scream racism at this point right here. This woman is, not only is she a bad person, she's also a racist. In 2020, DNA found on Papin's clothes, or Papini's, that was put in a database and routinely checked, ultimately led investigators to her ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend told investigators that Papini had asked him for help and needed to get away, and he agreed to pick her up in Redding, and that she stayed at his home in Costa Mesa in the Los Angeles area the whole time. You know, come on. Come on, you're sitting on a couch eating Cheetos while the federal government is using its power to find you. Like, you're a sick person. The ex said he didn't know what the final plan was or if they'd get back together. Seriously? Like, she's like, hey, and now you use this fellow? Papini asked him to brand her at one point, which he did with a wood-burning tool, and eventually she asked to be driven back to Northern California. Ex-boyfriend, I mean, if my girlfriend that we broke up, she comes and she's like, hey, I need to stay here for a while. Like, maybe we'll get back together. I'm like, no, we're not getting back together. It's over. And then she's like, well, can you brand me? What the hell? What the hell? Like, oh, come on. There's something wrong here. Investigators say the ex-boyfriend's story was corroborated with car rental receipts and phone records, and the ex-boyfriend knew details not known to the public. So I don't know about the rented car. That's kind of weird. The ex-boyfriend told investigators he initially thought he was just helping a friend, but after seeing the news accounts about the later kidnapping claims, he got worried, according to Avic David. Yeah, I would agree with that. So let's say I'm here and some rando comes to my door that we dated like 10 years ago. And they're like, hey, can you help me? I'm like, yeah, I guess. Okay. And then she's like, hey, can you brand me? Yeah, I don't really, doesn't seem like a good idea. And then like you see her on the news while you see her face on the news while you're eating Cheetos on the couch, and you're like, hey, now I think I'm in trouble. Like, you just got me in trouble, devil woman. And so I believe he got worried. I'd be worried too. He decided not to make any calls, but assumed if the truth was discovered, police would come to him and he would cooperate. Well, that's a nice way to some mental gymnastics there. I'm not a bad person if the police do come to me. If they do find me, I will say that it's okay. Like I will confess at that point. No charges against anyone else in the case were announced Thursday. I hope should the boyfriend be charged? What do you think? I don't know anything about crimes. In August 2020, investigators interviewed Papini again, and she repeated parts of her story about women with a gun, and when confronted, denied she stayed with her ex. Everyone involved in this investigation had one common goal: to find the truth about what happened and who was responsible. Good for them. Good for them for not giving up. Seriously. Good for them. Applause to the police and whoever did the work there. This woman committed fraud. This woman's not a nice person. I don't have any interest in now. If it comes out 6 years from now that this was a hoax by the police department, I'll take back what I said. You send me the link, okay? Okay, now we got this next article here. I just don't know. Here we go. Gripping story about former USC couple goes viral as it unfolds on popular social media page. Okay, so USC, I thought that was University of Southern California. Apparently it's University of South Carolina. Big difference. Anyway, a Humans of New York's serialized story unfolding on Facebook Thursday was so salacious and heartfelt, people set aside plans for the day to wait for the next installment. And surprise, surprise, the Cinderella-like story has ties to North Carolina and the University of South Carolina football team. It was written by Venus Morris Griffin, a real estate agent, motivational speaker, and author who lives in Augusta, Georgia. Now, let me just say that if you're a real estate agent and you're just doing real estate, kudos to you. I get to do lots of other things in my career at the same time. I'm not a motivational speaker, though. I think that's a little bit weird. I will be an author. Just need to get to it. The first 13 parts began showing up on Humans of New York Facebook page at about 9 a.m. Thursday, and immediately the comments poured in. By midday, more than 10,000 people had commented, many in the same vein as Jill Weissman of Austin, Texas, who said, cancels plans for the day. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This is like, I don't even know if I want to get into it, because what if it's bad? Anyway, look, I apologize. All right. But okay. So people were praising her strength and crying at tough times. I don't want to cry. So this is terrible. This is why you always check things first. Griffin describes herself as a simple girl from a dysfunctional family who met her Prince Charming at the University of South Carolina. She calls him Tripp, but it's not too hard to figure out. He's Tripp Morris, once a cheerleader at USC. I didn't know that. I don't know this guy. I don't know how she knew it. Anyway, Tripp was the president of his fraternity. He'd take me to these parties, and he'd be the center of attention. All his brothers called him Killa. He told everyone he was injured playing football as a freshman. His parents owned an asbestos removal company, had a beach house and a 35-foot fishing boat. He drove a Corvette. It was intimidating. I'd never been around that kind of money before. I worked as a waitress. I think I owned 3 outfits. She said after they married, they had season tickets to USC games and brought the whole family. He'd sweet talk his way past the security guards and get us in the locker room. He'd show us his old locker. He tells stories about how the coach used to tell him if everyone played with half the heart of Tripp, we'd have won nationals. That doesn't make any sense. But the team photos were on the wall, and he wasn't in any of them. He said he said was sick on team photo day. They had 6 children, all of them conceived through artificial insemination with a sperm donor. He was the perfect dad, but far from the. I think I know where this is going. Far from the perfect husband. He was convicted of child. Oh boy, I didn't see that coming. He was convicted of child molestation as an inmate at Baldwin Strait Prison in Milledgeville, Georgia. Corrections show he's serving a 45-year sentence. USC athletics spokesman Steve Fink confirmed Tripp Morris was a cheerleader at USC in the late 80s. The person he asked said, "What's he done now? I thought he was in jail." A spokesperson for Griffith said she would need to talk to her Hollywood agent before she could do any interviews. Her story, while difficult, is one of hope. In the end, she divorced her first husband, has a lucrative real estate career, and raised her children on her own despite the disapproval of people she knew in town and church. Oh my God. This is wrenching. She remarried and has another daughter. She's a grandmother. Last night, all my kids came over for dinner. We were together in the living room talking and laughing. That's still my biggest joy, watching these people love each other, helping them navigate through life. Well, now I don't even understand. I thought something else was going to happen, and it didn't. Ugh. This is weird. It's a weird story. It's a weird story, and I don't want to stay on that any longer. I'm not tearing up, thank God. But that's wild. So let's look at some real estate. Fort Wayne, Indiana. I think I've been through Fort Wayne. I know you can't see the third picture, and I'm sorry. I'm redoing my screen, and that's the way it is, and we'll just have to get through it. So here we go. We might only get to the houses today. I'm sorry. We might do one article. I don't know what. We'll figure that out in a minute. So here we go. $1.6 million, 4 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, 7,500 square feet on a 1 acre lot, 4-car garage, built in 2017. What's the property history? Just listed. Property details, way too many details for me to read about. 36 pictures, that's more like it. It kind of looks like a big house and then a garage kind of added at the end. Doesn't really flow very well. Beautiful inside pictures though. For me, this is great. I could live here. I don't know if I want the 1 acre lot. I kind of want more acreage. But look how well they got the outdoor space. Love the outdoor space. I don't need the picture of this in the listing. Laundry room. Oh, look at that bathroom. Subway tile all the way to the top. Wonderful. You know, on this type of house, it's like, why are you even selling? It's just beautiful. Clawfoot tub. There's going to be a shower right next to it there. I don't know how often they use it, but it's there. Beautiful, beautiful bedroom. Big. Really, really nice. I don't like a lot of textured walls in the house myself, but whatever. One thing that's kind of, I wanted to point out, this house feels clean. And by that, I mean, how many houses do we look at where the carpet is just a disaster, where there's like stains all over everything? It looks clean. There's not stuff laying around everywhere. Okay. There's people that may live here or they may not, but everything is put perfectly in its place. So that's the first house, 1.6. I think, yes, I would buy that. I don't remember how many days it was on the market. It says it's new, so I don't know. So this is 1.599. 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, 6,000 square feet on a 4 acre lot. Well, 4.75 acre lot, but it's been on the market 117 days. It's got an 18-car garage, which is just awesome. Listed in 2021 in November for 2.1. I mean, they're really cutting it down on the price. So beautiful, beautiful first picture. Okay. If this was the entrance, it's not clear to me. I think right there is the entrance. But look when you walk in, it's just wonderful. And you walk in this gorgeous room, this grand room. These windows up here bring all kinds of light in. Kitchen is utilitarian. That's what I would say. Not what I would want. I don't like the kitchen. No offense. And it is very open. I'm sure that that's what was one of the requirements for the build was I would like it to be open. What do you think? Obviously, no one's living there because this room would be full of stuff. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of contemporary, but there's elements of like kind of what I would say more traditional. I think what I need in this house, as I scratch my nose, I need more. I need more like plants or something in the pictures. It's very sterile looking. Here's the garage. It's just immaculate. And the water is beautiful. I mean, and then there's a, like, it says there's a pool house. I guess there. I didn't see the pool. All right, so that's that one. And then the next one's just 1.375 million. It's on a 6.4 acre lot. Let's just take a look at this one. A 2-car garage built in 2002, 45 days on the market, property history, listed in 2022, property details. It's not that big. Let's read it. Custom built estate built on 6.49 acres on a walkout basement. This beautiful NWACS home, I don't know what that means, has had a complete remodel inside and out from new asphalt driveway, brand new siding and windows, stamped concrete, geothermal HVAC, Trex decking, water softener, flooring, paint, and much more. You love the openness of the main living area and kitchen with impressive views through the wall of windows. Owner suite on the main level with access to private deck with 2 walk-in closets and new tiled shower. Basement features sauna, workout room, pub-style bar, family room, exercise room, and 2 bedrooms. The estate features a 2-acre pond with an amazing gazebo and 36 by 40 pole barn with heated workshop area. Okay. There's your pole barn. There's your lake. It's freezing. It's like got a little island. I think that's cool. A little island on your lake. A nice entrance. I mean, that looks nice, and it's design. I mean, the style it speaks to me. I like this style. I mean, the colors are bold, but they're not like offensive to me. There's your little area there. It's a cute place on 6 acres. It's cute. I liked all those houses. I liked all of them. Let's get into one article at least. Housing market update. Homebuyers face the fastest prices market on record. I'm doing this to be slick. I'm not going to lie. I'm doing it because if I don't do something, then I have to change the title of my live stream after I finish. And I don't want to do that. Still have to change a little bit, but not as much. So, a record 57% of homes sold in 2 weeks, and the typical monthly mortgage payment soared to a new high, approaching $2,000. This is from Redfin. They're very good at doing this stuff. Homes sold faster than ever during the first 4 weeks, ending February 13, as a record 57% of homes that went under contract did so within 2 weeks of being listed. And that's, I would say, I'm kind of used to that. Really, I mean, even before, your house would normally go under contract after the first weekend if you priced it right. The issue was always, how many offers you got, and that's been the big difference. People buying homes now are paying more than ever before, too. A median $1,997 a month, as asking prices soared 16% year over year to new high, and mortgage rates shot up to their highest level since May of 2019. The pace and cost of home buyers are soaring largely because there's so little to buy. It's starting to get better. New listings fell 8% year over year, sending overall supply to a new low and putting a damper on pending sales, which fell 2.7%. That's true. A lot of people took that as an indication the market wasn't strong. No, it just wasn't enough to buy, in my opinion. But the acute shortage of new listings of homes for sale is the biggest problem in the housing market faces right now. If you think of the housing market like a bathtub, water is flowing down the drain faster than new water is coming through the faucet. Rising mortgage rates may be slow the drain a bit as record high monthly payments take on a total buyer's budgets. But bottom line, without a flood of new listings, we will be sitting in a very shallow bath for a while. I think listings are going to come back. I really do. I think we're going to have a lot more listings. And I think that people are going to be a little disappointed when they do list their house because I don't think they're going to get what they thought they were going to get. I had a guy tell me his house is worth $300,000 the other day, and I just saw a house in his neighborhood go up for market at $279 asking price. It'll be interesting to see if it sells at that because that's $20,000 less than he's thinking that he's going to get on his house when he sells it. Unless otherwise noted, the data in this report covers a 4-week period ending February 13th. Okay, the median home sale price was up 15% year over year to $354. Now, I've seen that it's as high as $400, so it just depends on who you're talking to. The median asking price of newly homes increased 16% year over year, an all-time high of $381. This was up 26% from the same time in 2020. The monthly mortgage payment on the median asking price rose to an all-time high. This was up 27% from a year earlier when mortgage rates were 2.73% and was up 31% from the same period in 2020. Pending home sales were down, but were up 35% from the same period in 2020, just prior to the start of the pandemic. New listings of homes for sale were down 8% from a year earlier. Compared to 2020, new listings were down 12%. Active listings, the number of homes listed for sale fell 27% year over year, dropping to an all-time low of 447,000. Listings were down 49% from the same period in 2020. 57% of homes that went under contract had an accepted offer within the first 2 weeks of the market, an all-time high. This was up from the 51% rate of a year earlier and 43% in 2020. 44% of homes that went under contract had an accepted offer within 1 week of hitting the market, an all-time high. This was up from 38% during the same period a year earlier and 29% in 2020. Homes that sold were on the market for a median of 29 days, down from 38 days a year earlier and 60 days in 2020. 41% of homes sold above list price, up 33% a year earlier and 19% in 2020. On average, 2.7% of homes for sale each week had a price drop. That's really low. That's really low. It says, but down 0.6% percentage points from 2020. The average sale to list price ratio rose to 100.3%. In other words, the average home sold for 0.3 above its asking price. So anyway, that's that. It's been a strong market, and I think it's going to continue to be a strong market. I mean, for the next little while. Let's look at the next article. Zavvi. I don't know if this is very big. It's not that big. Okay, Zavvi is they do cash buying. Basically, they allow you to put an offer in with cash. I don't know. People think that's a great idea, like it's brand new or something, and whatever. It says, and so they didn't even have this on their website on Zavvi. It's not even there, so that's annoying. So I had to go to it's just a press release. Now, it's very good marketing on their part, and I should do it more often, but I just run out of time. Oh, God. But what happens is you write an article, a press release, and then people take the data and they write their stories on it, and they link back to you, and it's a great SEO practice. Boulder, Colorado, home buyers and sellers contended with historical challenge in markets across the U.S. this July through September. Tell me about it. And multiple offers with escalating bids became the norm. Power buyer companies, that's like Zavvi, became more commonplace than ever, with upwards of 70% of buyers also needing to buy a home was a particularly difficult time. Power buyers are companies offering services that give consumers more options and the financial power to buy a home through a cash offer, a buy before you sell bridge solution, or the sale leaseback. A new Zavvi reference report details the explosive growth of power buyers. See that? Is it? They finally gave me one? Oh, well, I'm not looking at it. Just released by Zavvi, a brokerage-branded marketplace that connects broker agents with their clients with new ways to buy and sell homes while keeping agents at the center of the transaction. That's a lot to say. The report also offered deep insight in the buyer market. In the third quarter of this year, iBuyers doubled. By the way, I think that anything you do had better be focused on the agents and not yourself, like Zillow did. That was their mistake. They went from focusing on agents to focusing on themselves. And that's when you became a competitor and not a friend. Just released by Zavvi. Oh, we did that. In the third quarter of this year, iBuyers doubled their acquisitions from any prior quarter and now command a 1.8 national market share. Now, to me, this is me. iBuying is important. Power buying is important when the market's hot for the sellers. When the market is dead, these companies go out of business. Because there's no need to have a cash offer when no one's trying to buy the house. But this is just me, and maybe the market will never turn to what it did in 2008. Maybe. The most significant trend emerging from the Zavvi report is the continued expansion of the leading iBuyer and power buyer firms, including Opendoor, Redfin Now, OfferPad, Knock, and Ribbon. During Q3 alone, these firms launched their services in more than 30 major markets. Yeah, they're going to offer this stuff. Okay, and they're going to fight about it. Some of them are going to be profitable, and some of them are going to eat it. And I think many of them are eat it. Some will try to acquire others. I mean, this is like the first stage of a long, drawn-out play that we don't know the end to it. But if it is anything like the car buying market, which is a disaster right now, like Carvana basically owns every car, this is going to be an issue. But anyway, the new Zavvi report also acknowledged that in November, Zillow announced it would discontinue its iBuying operations. However, the report concludes it's clear that Zillow's decision was completely attributable to internal factors specific to Zillow rather than any lack of consumer demand among iBuyers. I don't believe that. It says, Stephen Patterson, Zavvi chief data officer and co-founder, says, paraphrasing Mark Twain, the reports of the death of iBuying by some has been greatly exaggerated. The fact is iBuyer purchases increased by 46%. A breakthrough quarter for iBuyer purchase volume. Again, that's fine. Peterson notes that with the withdrawal vote, a major iBuyer firm total value may be impacted and compounded by seasonal factors, but he believes other iBuying firms could increase their activity. Yeah, you could. Again, you can buy a lot, and then if the market goes south, now you own a bunch of houses that you have to get rid of. Like Zillow. It's bad. I don't know. It's not that interesting. I'm sorry I even brought it to you. It's not the type of article it's going to look good on. It's not going to, it just doesn't read well because it's a press release and they're hyping their products and it's not like data centered. Like, see how Redfin centered their data? This one here is all over the place. I don't like it. Good luck to them, and thank you for putting agents first if that's what you're really doing and not just saying it. Let's go to my base frame. Well, what do you think? Did we get a nice clear picture today? Are you happy with what we got? I look in the back and like if you look at the office, like I put the mouse up there, but it's not doing any good. But if you look at the office, it'll go in and out. And you can see the fisherman, it'll be blurry and then it won't be blurry. And it's focusing on my face, which I appreciate. Like the microphone to me looks gorgeous. This whole thing looks great. But we'll just have to try it. I don't know what I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to go. Forgive me if it doesn't go well. Thank you for watching. I'm going to head out.